Councillor, I work in the community as a volunteer, and I've come across the effects of the cuts. The cuts, for instance, of a 73-year-old woman living on her own in a council flat, who's lived there for 6 years without gas, electricity, or hot water. Her neighbour, a man who's disabled, came to see me and asked me to go to visit her. Her and cases like her are the tip of the iceberg, and they're about to get worse because of the continuing cuts. Although this strike today is a strike in relation to pensions, in reality it's a lightning conductor for the growing anger because the posh boys are in town. These people who know all about hunger, given that they were probably late for their dinner once. These people who know all about poverty, given that they went to the cash machine and it was empty. They have no idea what it's like to be a parent or a young person. They have closed off the avenues to education for our young people. 13% less students are applying to university in comparison to last year. They're now going to force our children, our young people, to work for nothing. And for those who know of ever experience of being on the dole, if you're under the age of 25, they give you the princely sum of £53 per week. If you're over the age of 25, they give you £67 a week. And out of that, you're supposed to pay your water rates, your gas, your electricity, your food, your clothing, your travel, and anything else. I defy any politician who really have the gold-plated pension pots. I defy any of them to live on the dole, not for a day or a week or a month. Try living on it for 2 or 3 months. You know, I was down in Hillingdon Road depot yesterday morning and the morning before, and I'm sick to death of hearing people say that our young people don't want to go to work. Outside the gates in Hillingdon Road, and you can see it any morning from 5:45, dozens and dozens of young people outside the gates. They're not even allowed into the yard. They're sent there by agencies, hoping for a day's work. And morning after morning, I've seen young men, 18, 19, 20 years old, who don't get the start. They don't get the day's work. And not only that, they don't get any money from the agency. They now have to pay to go back home on a bus that costs them £2.20 to get there and £2.20 to go home. It's going to get a great deal worse. The pensions is a huge issue, and it's outrageous that the 4 leading people in the government are picking Maud, Cameron, Osborne and Clegg have a joint pension pot in excess of £3.7 million. I defy any of them who blame ordinary working people for what's happened. Let's be frank about this. The super rich, the crooks, the speculators and the bankers have indebted our children and our grandchildren. They want to impoverish every worker. They want to destroy the unions. We're asking everyone here who knows someone who crossed the picket line today. If they're not in the union, we have to redouble our efforts to organise in the public sector and in the private sector. I will finish on this, Chair. I said earlier on at the beginning of the march, the question of the rebuilding of the Trades Union Council in Hillingdon. It's been inactive for 14 or 15 years, which was a sign at the time that you know in public sector. We have been hammered in every way for the last 10, 20, even 30 years. Too many people are afraid to speak up at work. Too many people are afraid because they're being bullied. That has got to stop. Got to stop. Help us get organised. Please see us at the end. Please put your name and your phone number and your email and your union. Please give us that information. Thank you. Yay!